Well, following the death of Breonna Taylor after a no-knock raid, Louisville, Kentucky will pay $12 million to her family. Today, our Jenna Krzina spoke to several USC law students who helped with the case.
Almost 6 months ago, 26-year-old Breonna Taylor was killed in her apartment following a no-knock police raid in Louisville, Kentucky. And on September 15th, a settlement agreement was reached. The city of Louisville to pay $12 million to her family and reform police practices. And among those helping in the case were several USC law students and Professor Colin Miller.
I kind of expected it from the start. It was clear that the family and the attorneys wanted two things. No amount of money can compensate for the loss of their daughter, but this was a clear case of liability from our research.
Miller and two of his research assistants, Anna Catherine Parham and Jasmine Crothers, reached out to the Taylor family and their attorney to offer free legal assistance.
It's certainly been eye-opening for me because at first I wasn't sure what was going to happen with it, whether or not things would vote in the Taylor's favor or not. And I'm so glad that it did, but it also reminds me of just how far we have to go.
Both students spent hours researching no-knock warrants for Taylor's case.
It was a long process. I mean, when we first started off, we spoke with the attorneys and kind of just got some background information as to what was going on. This is a, highly publicized incident. So, it's on the national news. So just kind of navigating through that at first, and then getting down to the nails and bolts of it through the research about no-knock warrants and understanding, what is a no-knock warrant, what's the data on it, and then getting to the settlement.
Both say working on this case has impacted them in many ways.
Just because, a civil settlement has been reached, and thankfully it has been reached, that does not mean that this is over. That doesn't mean that the cops that killed Breonna Taylor will not be held accountable for their actions. This is just the end of the road on the civil side.
This isn't the end. The fight still continues. We still have to get justice for Breonna. And, while we are glad that the civil side of it is handled, there is still the criminal side of everything. And, those cops should still be held accountable for what they did.
In Columbia, Jenna Krzina, News 19 WLTX.